Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and you guys, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Ashley Joves and I did an incredible podcast together, and I have broken this into different sections for you guys. So be sure to chime in. I can't wait for you to hear it. Listen to where we riff through cash flow and new practices, diving all the way into personal development and ending it with book club and how to truly grow your practice. I hope you guys enjoy it. And as always, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast.
I want to ask you, because we talked a lot about culture, and I absolutely love your culture that you've created. I think Shelby
I feel the same about you, though.
Amazing.
So you know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I absolutely adore you, and I adore Shelby. I was telling Colin and whoever I can talk to, I'm like, I will message Shelby on a Sunday night, and that girl is emailing me back as soon as I hit send. What is the secret sauce to getting a team that is so engaged? Like, please spill the deets. Like, I want that same engagement and motivation and just like owner mentality. Is what are you doing? Is it like, are you drugging your employees? Like, what?
You nailed it. A little Dental Team sprinkling there. Well, you're really nice, and I appreciate it. And genuinely, I look at your team too. I look at the pictures. I look at the team. And so just so you know, from the outside looking in, I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel like you already have that culture. So perception could be there, but I will say my team genuinely, who you see is who they are. And Colin's amazing. You've got that same piece to it. I think something I did. So let's go back to COVID, Kiera. I had a shiz. I said it with a Z, guys. Culture. It was crap, Ashley. Like, it was pure junk. And I'm like, what is going on? And so I sat down, I looked at my core values, and I'm like, something is happening. And I had a coach tell me, she said, Kiera, this is all you and you need to fix it. And I was like, well, that was really rude. And thank you, but like not necessary, but necessary. So I decided, like, it's been a 3-year journey, and I don't think I'm doing everything right. And I think there's still so much growing, but I'll tell you specifics of what I've done and what I do. And so culture is a long-term burn, just so you know. It's not like an immediate, like you don't go do a sit-up and get abs. Like, that's how culture is. Like, you got to freaking do those sit-ups every dang day and you still don't get the abs. And like, you've got to be okay with that. So I reset all my core values, every single one of them. I scrubbed them down to like, what am I missing? What's happening? And I said, that's it. And I do it every quarter. I look to see where are my gaps in my company. And if so, I'm going to change my core values. So core values have changed many times. Currently, it's dope gift. So our core values right now are do the right thing, ownership, passion for excellence, ease. G is grit. I is innovate or die. And F stands for fun. And so those are my current core values. And I got really, really sticky on core values. So what we do now is core values are there. Then every Friday, I send out a Friday 5 and I highlight team members across the board of 5 highlights in the team. So people that have done things. I will also shout out people who are living the core values at a certain level, but I'm looking for 5 highlights or 5 things that I need to do every single week. I send it. And that has been going on for 2 years. And I hated it when I started, just so like, I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this, like full blown thought this was the stupidest email and I didn't want to write it. And I'm like, it doesn't even matter to them. And then I found out it really mattered to them. And they're all looking to see like who gets the highlight every week and who's actually is Kiera noticing and what is she noticing them for. And then from there, and this is coming from so many different things I've trialed and erred, we now hire off of core values. Every month I make the team answer, how are they living to the core values? And then every single Wednesday, our morning huddle is core value shout out. And so every team member selects somebody, every team member participates, and they have to choose someone. So now it's not just Kiera running culture, but all the team is running culture. And so what I did from there was every Wednesday, they're shouting someone out for a core value that they embody. So that's helped like bring this culture through. And then this year, and this came from Zeke with Swell, he and I actually had a nice chit chat at your event last year. And Zeke told me what he does because I think Zeke's a brilliant business owner. He has every person come onto his company and read Extreme Ownership. So I said, cool. If that's what Zeke does, that's what my team's doing. So this year, I set it up to where we read ownership in January and we had a book club around ownership. And we have a book club every month, but that was a mandatory. I bought the book, I sent it to everybody, and I had every person write their goals of how they were going to own their role personally and how they're going to own themselves professionally. Like, where are they going to ramp up? And then every Friday 5 this year, I've actually put an ownership tidbit, every single one. And sometimes I have the team respond like, hey, how are you doing? This is what you said you were committing to in front of the whole team. So it's team accountability plus it's also ownership. But I pushed heavy this year of ownership, of owning your role, owning your life. And I do it personally and professionally. And I set goals with all of them where I'm invested. Like I've got one team member who wanted to buy a house and I've helped her and she's buying her house and she's closing at the end of the month for it. And Shelby wanted certain things. And so I think also being personally invested in them, um, but then also lead by example. Like Shelby knows that I will respond to emails and I will go above and beyond. And that's part of our core values. Like do the right thing. What is the right thing? Ashley emailed in. I'm going to respond to her and I'm going to make sure she's taken care of. But you also got to put right people, right seats. Shelby is a master
Mhm.
at customer service. Shelby loves people so much and like wants to make you happy. And so when I found her, I'm like, this is where you need to be. You need to be taking care of people. That's something that you are so good at. But she can then take pride and ownership in being the best at making our clients and our sponsors and people feel so good. And then Britt, who's not that way, Britt's on operations and she's all things numbers and spreadsheets and figuring out how we're going to run these HR protocols. It's right person, right seat as well. But really, I have hounded this year ownership and I'm probably going to keep it going for next year because my team has elevated. And I like in extreme ownership, he says there are no excuses, there are results. So I asked the team, like, what is your favorite excuse at work that you just fall into the trap of? I asked them, like, where are you not holding yourself accountable and what's the excuse you're giving and how are you going to overcome it? So like sometimes that's in a one-on-one, sometimes that's direct, but I think the ownership and the core value, like the Friday 5 and the morning huddles where they're working with each other and like they build the core values and then I make it really fun. People are like, Kiera, culture, they're like, you might have a cult running there and I'm like, that's fine, cult is culture, like if you want to just call it what it is. So a
Yep.
couple quarters ago, our team wrote, "What does winning look like?" And this actually came from Jason Tenori. I coach him, and he's amazing. But I feel I get just as much coaching from him when I go out to see him. And he started realizing like he had departments that weren't winning. And like as a team, what does it actually mean to win? Like, yeah, we can hit these numbers, but like, what does it mean as a dental assistant department or a hygiene department or a doctor department? Like, what does winning really look like for us? So, as a team, my team, we created what does winning look like for our team? And they were super impressive to me of what they wrote. And the line that sticks out to me so much that I like hated when they first wrote it. And then I was like, let you guys ride with it. It's like I did everything I said I would. I owned my role to the fullest. I have 24-hour email response time because I got sick of people not responding to emails. So I put that back in there to remind them like this is our culture. And it's like I did everything I said I would. I had fun. I positively impacted someone and I have energy for me and I'm fully prepared to win tomorrow. And they say like win tomorrow, today, every other day, and like forever. So they made it fun for them. But when they said I have energy for me, I thought that was a stupid line. Like I was like, that's dumb. But the more I've said that, and we say it every single day, Ashley, I won my day quote, and someone says it, and we ask them, did you win your day yesterday? How much of your day did you actually win? Because that's really showing them like this is how we win as a company and how we win as a culture. And it's funny because them having energy at the end of the day for themselves and myself, I feel like I care more about them as people and like they're cranking for the company and I want to crank for them as people. And it's been interesting to watch the shift of them being more efficient with their time and looking for ways to simplify. And if they're running ragged, asking team members of like, hey, how are you doing this differently? Because I'm exhausted at the end of my day And then
Mhm.
another piece to culture, Ashley, like this is the down and dirty. I've ripped my team and I've cut people that weren't fitting and we've shifted. And it's been like, that is the piece that cuts me every time because I genuinely love people. And there have been team members I've had to like let go or they've had to realize they don't fit and they've decided to leave. Um, but I'm so committed to a culture of ownership and a culture of people owning their role that will reach out to Ashley. And then those things get highlighted and highlighted in that team member's way. So I'll do surprise and delights for them too. I like to have a lot of fun. So like maybe Shelby will get this like random $100 Venmo just periodically, or it will be a, hey, like you should go to Starbucks, like you're just crushing it. Or but those don't happen all the time. I honestly think people love to just be appreciated and appreciated in their own way. So that was the like whole ramble. Hopefully there were some pieces in there, but like I want you to realize it's been a 3.5 year journey and I don't think I'm
Yeah.
perfect at it. I every and another thing they do on Mondays, this is from Traction, every Monday the whole team reads, what are the goals? What's the purpose? What are we working towards? Where are we at? And I have every one of them build rocks every quarter and they have to answer in front of their whole team. Are they on track? Or are they off track? And then rally with each other to own it. So I think there's like tactical of our goals and our pieces. There's the like soft skills of our core values of them like really trying to embody it. And then like it's fun. Like at retreat we just had, I did show up for like a small part of it because I wanted to play Dental Team Survivor. But the games I made them play were like, how do we win our day? And they had to write it down and like, what are our core values? And like little pieces of it. And then one last thing is I'm like rambling on it. Something else I've done is um I feel like embarrassed to share these things, but this is really what I do. Every Monday we go through and we say like languages and how we speak. And so I like we've all talked about how we want to do it. So like challenges fire me up and I live for breakthroughs. Like wisdom flows through me. I positively impact people. Like the stickiness to our company is the personal connection. And so it's like 10 bullet points of like how do we speak? How do we talk? Like because I want them to realize like I don't care if there's a challenge. Like I want you to like crush through that and like break through it because that's what people are going to complain about. And so and then I also have companies that we model after and I tell them why. So we model after Disneyland because they're just fun and it's attention to detail and they make you feel like a VIP. We model after Google and Amazon because they're easy and like Amazon's so good you can't live without them. So how can Dental A Team be so good you can't live without us? And like Chat GPT is for innovate or die. And so giving them like, I think I try to hit it on a tactical skill of like, here's the tactical, if that's the kind of learner you are. Here's the soft skills of our core value and like this culture piece of just loving in a community. And then I'm also going to hit you on like, how do we actually speak? How do we win our day? How are we truly winning as a company? So whomever they are, something in there fits. And I shoot, it might be Colt, and I'm okay with that because the culture of ownership is bleeding through these people and then celebrating them on their one-on-ones or on their Friday 5 and telling them how proud of them I am genuinely. I think as a team member, so I can flip to that side, if I've heard my doctor saw that I rocked it some way, that's going to speak exponentially to me more than a raise, more than a Starbucks gift card, because you saw me in a moment. Like I don't do these big things. It's usually behind the scenes or the Friday 5s of something small that that team member did that maybe would go unnoticed, but their boss saw it. And so I've thought about delegating Friday 5 to Shelby. Like she could write that. And I'm like, this is culture, Kiera. And as a CEO, you need to own that. So whatever pieces, but I started small. The first thing I started with was core values. Second thing was setting up quarterly, like where are we going? Third thing was core value shout outs at Morning Huddle, which I would definitely put those two together first. Like the core value shout out every Wednesday, I think is truly crucial to culture. Then reading extreme ownership was super beneficial as our team, but I don't think my team was there 2 years ago. I think if I would have incorporated that, it might have been too soon. I think now they were like, yep, we're doing this because we've been hitting goals, we've been tracking goals. And then from there, I think it's just you, like the Friday 5, I think is as hard as it was, something super, super valuable. And I'm like, it takes me about 15 minutes every week. That 15 minutes will bless a culture. I think it's something I can do.
I I want to just highlight also that you went on. I mean, when Kira talked about her culture, her face lit up, and you can obviously feel the passion that she has poured into her company's culture and vision. And I want to highlight that not once did you say anything about the monetary um, motivation. Like you said, you'll give like a gift card or what have you, but it was not. I'm paying them boatloads of money. If they hit this, they get that. Like it was all the other things around. And so I'm curious. Well, one, I want to highlight my team too, because I don't want, if you're on my team or if you're hearing this and you know my team is fantastic. They are amazing. And I want them to know how much I love and appreciate them every single day. And this question that I had for Kiera was more so, how do I maintain that same level of enthusiasm in the office that I was not in, the current the
For
Folsom
sure.
location, and the fact that you can do this with your company who all work remotely, like, and they're all like, they have to work
Mhm.
independently, and they have to make sure that they are owning their roles and responsibilities. I want that. Like, I want that fire, not just like being amazing, but I want them to feel like engaged and energized when I'm not there, when they can get on and reactivate the patients who haven't been in for a while. Like, that is, I mean, yeah, it's, but they're amazing. I just want to make sure that same level of enthusiasm is there when I'm not there and Judy's not there and Colin isn't there. Like, how, like, I don't
Yeah.
want it to fall, you know?
And
And
it
you know
won't.
this. Yeah.
I do. And it won't. If it's true culture, it will last if you're not there. So it will run, but you've got to put those systems and that structure in place
Yeah.
that then they
Okay.
can lean on, give them the parameters, and then let them fly. And also, really, as you said, that let them win in their positions. Like, let them be really good at their position. What is their position? What are their KPIs? And let them freaking win. Like, I don't care how my team gets there. I say nothing illegal, nothing unethical, and follow the core values, and you've got free reign. Like, do it. If you want to go try this or you want to try that, like, free reign. So you're not going to lose it, Ashley. But truly, the true sign of culture is, can you be gone and your team can operate the same? And for me, I feel like
Hmm.
all I need to do is put Friday 5 in and make sure every quarter I assess core values. Beyond that, the structure's there. They can run. If I'm not on morning huddle, it runs the same. If I'm not there Monday, it runs the same. So build those little systems for it. And then I show up for Friday 5 and I show up for like truly core values to make sure it's headed in the right direction.
Oh my gosh. I just adore you, Kira. Have we already exhausted our time together? What time are we supposed to record
Ryan's supposed
with
to be here
Ryan?
now, but he's not here. So,
So do we
but
just
that
go?
tends to
Keep
be
going?
Ryan, like a total Ryan. I'm definitely going to text him and see where he's at. But I think like, um, yeah. He actually just messaged. So we're good, Ashley, because he said, I'm sorry, I have to reschedule.
Oh,
So
okay. Wow.
he's fine.
Then
So
I
there we
will
go. We
say,
have our time. But I think it's been like fun. It's been a fun thing. But I think my last piece is like we put bows on it, unless you want to like dive into more consulting questions, which hey, we're here for it. We've got the time. Is don't sell yourself short. Like Ashley, you do so many good things. When you were a business master, you texted me of how to win. And I don't know if you remember, but I'm like, you're a freaking marketing genius, Ashley. Use that superpower that you have. Like all of us have a superpower and like don't sell yourself short. It's very easy to listen to these podcasts and be like, I'm not doing XYZ. Well, let's do what am I doing? And what's the one thing
mhm,
I'm going to go incorporate? Because all these things I've shared with you have been over the course of 6 years. It's not like, oh, I listened to a podcast and implemented everything, but I feel like you've got to take knowledge and implement if you want to see change. You can't just listen. That's not actually getting you anywhere. You actually have to take one piece, implement it, and then come back and do the next piece. Because that's really, I think, the discipline that most of us lack. We're willing to listen. We're willing to say, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the true thing I've watched every single office, I'm like, I can tell if they'll be successful or not, is if they actually implement. Do you take what we say and do you implement at least one thing? I don't care if it's one tiny thing, because that shows me that you're going to stay committed to things. So don't sell yourself short and make sure you implement something. And also don't measure up to other people. Like live your own style. Ashley, I don't know, you don't know this, but I use your website of like the theme and the vibe. We're building a whole new website. And I'm like, I love how
Oh,
Ashley is. So like I pick and choose from different people constantly. And so like don't sell yourself short. There's so many good things we do. It's the balance of like seeing that I'm incredible and I want to keep growing and not undermining myself to keep growing. Like I think there's two different
right.
motivations. Like I'm a freaking rock star. I'm going to add this two pieces in and we're going to be even better. Or I
Hmm.
suck at all of this and I'm failing everywhere. That one's not going to motivate you. That energy is going to deplete you. The one of like, hey, I'm doing a lot of great things and like, let's high five and let me be my biggest raving fan. And I'm going to keep growing for the sake of myself and for my team. It's a different energy and a different motivation.
I love that. And thank you. I'm excited. I heard you have a new logo that you're working on. Oh yeah. We'll chat more about that
It's going
offline.
to be fun.
Um, it's gonna be okay. So we've talked all about me, and I have not even had a chance to ask you how is the real Kira Dent doing these days?
Ooh. Well, I think I alluded to it. The real Kiera Dent, gosh, it's been like amorphous right now. I'm like, I don't know what's coming on the other side of this, Ashley, but I feel like everything's being stripped down, like from
Yeah,
religion to my
yeah.
identity to like working out to not being needed as a CEO to
Mhm.
um it's been weird. It's been super weird. And I'm just thankful for like really supportive people through this to call and to have them be like, listen, you're just like in a shifting zone right now. Like stop resisting and start embracing and just surrender to what is and find the beauty within. That's why I think I love the quote of fall in love with what is because I I don't know if I want to go to church anymore. I don't know if I want to like I just hired a new
Mhm.
personal trainer and she was all in like tracking macros and I'm like, "Listen, girl, you don't even know who I am. Like tracking food and
Yeah.
all that's not my jam." Like so I think I don't know. I think it's like I've done this enough times. I haven't had a shift like this since 2020 and I remember the last like big shift I had. And so real clear dent is like, I don't know, I'm just here for it. Like I guess like whatever is coming, let's have fun and let's enjoy it and I just go boating all the time right now in true honesty because I love boating and I love being on the lake and it's fun. And then also usually in times like this, I know I need to disconnect and like read a
Yeah,
book. And so I've been reading
yeah,
a ton of just fiction books constantly because it allows my mind to shut off. Like watch
yeah.
Lincoln Lawyer, like something that sucks me out
Me
of work and
too.
like just attaches to me. So fun. Like I love it. I love a good like mystery because I still feel like I'm like, but right now it's truly just like I don't think I'm perfect at it, and I've definitely had some really hard days. And like I texted my realtor and said I'm selling my house because I don't want to go to church anymore. Like dramatic things, Ashley, that I know are just me trying to like escape whatever is
Yeah.
happening. Um, but just realizing like life is actually pretty awesome, and so many good things are in play. Like not discrediting how I feel, but like, all right, I want to get in shape and I want to get strong. These are the things I need to do to get there. So instead of resisting it and hating it, like how can I embrace it and make it my own and have fun with
Hmm.
it? And that's really become a thing of just like, how can I make this fun? And realizing I live by guilt. I started picking up
Mm.
that theme. I feel guilty about this. I feel guilty
Yep.
about that. And so just kind of like diving in and wondering like what's that guilt serving and is there maybe a different way to have it. So like guilt of clients, guilt of not being at all these things, guilt of like if I don't speak or if I don't podcast, is the company going to fall apart? Or like I'm not going to travel as much next year, is that going to destroy it? And I think when you're in your head, you're dead, like Tony Robbins always says. And so it's like
Hmm.
follow your heart, follow what you know is true, but then like shell off every other thing that's not necessary and find things that just are fun. Like I'm like, sweet. Right now, I don't want to stress about things like let's go boating, let's do Disneyland every single holiday. Like just find fun things and not to distract or numb, but to just get me in a different place because I know if I can get myself out of my head and into a
Mm.
fun space, the answers always show up every time. So there's the real cure dent.
I love that. I love that you are incorporating more play into your life, and I think that I've taken a lot of time outside of the practice, mostly for CE, We took like a little family getaway to Santa Barbara because Brian turned 40, and it was Cody's birthday too.
Fun.
But as far as like, even when I'm not in the practice, like, that thing that you said, when you're in your head, you're dad. I am never really
Mhm.
escaping the practice. Like, all of my white space is thinking about, this is where I want to go. This is what I need to do. And then all of the tyranny of how starts to creep in.
Mhm.
And then when that happens, nothing gets done because I'm
For
caught
sure.
up in the details. And when I don't know how to get to where I want to go, then I just don't move. And that is,
Mhm.
I, I to echo what you talked about, I have started reading just complete fiction books, and even then, just to shut off my head, I will feel guilty at the hours that I'm spending reading something that is not really giving me business insights or leadership insights or developing developing me as a CEO. I'm like, I need to stop
Mhm.
thinking that way. Like, just really try to unplug. Like, now that your business, I mean, you mentioned that it felt so weird and sad to not be at the retreat that your company put on. Like, how did you reconcile that? How did you sit in those feelings and move forward? Because I totally get that. Like, I, at the same point of, I want this business to thrive without me, I also think, oh God, like, I want to feel needed still.
Totally. I want to thrive. I want the business to thrive without me, but I thrive on the business. Like, it's this like duo
Yeah.
thing. So let's go back to the reading thing because I'm going to just like offer an idea that maybe will help you. And I tell myself like this free reading time is actually me still working on the business. So I kind of like trick myself because I think about like I know logically if I were to go work out my body 24/7, like my body would
Mm-hmm.
literally deteriorate. So like I get it. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
work out every day at the gym, it's not going to work out. Well, guess what? This little brain is like our muscles, and if it's constantly being worked out, it actually starts to become less effective. So just like if I were to just like pump iron all day long, well, those muscles are going to actually deteriorate. They're not going to get stronger because I've overworked them. And so for me, I'm like, oh, me reading, this is just my brain's recharge time. Like phones go on batteries, computers have to get plugged in, cars need to get gas. Like the reading time or the disconnection time is just me fueling my brain. So that way I can be more productive when I go back to it. So if that helps at all, I just think about like, oh, she just needs a shut off time up there. Like, let me give her at first I called it like my goddess charging time. And I thought that was like, I felt so awkward about it. But I realized like it's just my CEO charging time, like me watching TV or me reading books that are fictional, like rock on. This is just my charging time. Like it's got to have a shut off time to recharge. Otherwise, I'm just going to be muck and schmuck going forward. So if that helps you realize and like not be guilty about it, because your brain has to have a time to shut off. It has to get a recharge. And truthfully, if you do that, like you're way more productive on the other side of it. So just like that's kind of how I've been able to reconcile it. And like also, why is it wrong to have fun? One of my words has been playful and like be more playful and have more fun because there are people that we all know in high school that were like total just floozies. Like they like never showed up really. They hung out like they were the life of the party and yet they passed all their classes. And I'm like studious and trying to get it all done. Like there's two ways to live life. I can be this like gladiator that slays all day, or I can also be a magician that's like playful and like hanging out and still crank it. And I want to be more magician in my life right now and more playful because I know I can get just as good of results, if not better, with less stress. And so if that helps you, just like play is actually really helpful. So that's one. And then you asked me how to reconcile the company not needing me. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Like I want to give you the
Mm-hmm.
answers and I want to say I know. I think I've more just opened up to the idea of okay, I've been working towards this goal and I just
Mm-hmm.
watched myself have it happen. I'm gonna cry my freaking eyes out and realize like this is so sad for me and like not dismiss that.
Mm.
Because I think often when we dismiss it, it just stays with us. So I've just learned like emotions are like thunderstorms. Let them come, they'll pass through, and they might come back, and that's okay. I talked to some like really trusted friends and just like was really honest of how I felt, and that was helpful. And then I just like I had a coach and she's like, Kiera, you're finally leading your team, not walking side by side. Like you're morphing into a true CEO, not a team member. And that perspective really helped me because I've been a team member for my whole life. I've been like, I was an assistant, I was an office manager. Like I know that role so well. A CEO role, I don't actually know. So then I quickly Googled, like Google's a best friend. And I'm like, what does a CEO actually do? Like, let me just look. And that was where it was vision, culture, and profitability. And I'm like, okay, like if that's where I'm supposed to morph into, cool. So I think right now it's more just I'm truly in an exploration phase of asking like who would I be if I wasn't at all the team meetings and team retreats? And honestly, Ashley, I'm a business junkie and there have been ideas starting to percolate of like new ideas and new business ventures. Some are associated with dental team and others are not. And I realized like that is my seat. Like that is the seat that I freaking love to sit in. I don't
Mm.
enjoy the managing. I don't enjoy the building
Mm.
protocols. Am I dang good at it? Yes, but that sucks life out of me. And so it's more realizing I'm getting to a spot where the tasks and the responsibilities I don't enjoy doing, I'm going to pass those
Yes.
people who love them and give space to wander and to create more so than just be the same that I've always
Ah,
been. So I'm still not there, but that's me kind of like
yeah.
working through and how I'm working through it currently.
Ah, I love that so much. Okay, I need to know, what are your favorite books that you've read this year? Let's get some
Oh,
tactical recommendations. I want to, can I be in your book club? No, but really, like that's a very
yeah, for
serious
sure.
question. Can we
Yeah,
create a Kira Dent and whoever wants to be in our book club?
of
Because I
course.
just want an opportunity to have more Kira in my life.
Of course. Well, Dental Team has a monthly book club that I release every single month. So those are like business and work and all that. So like I've done quite a
Okay.
few. So if you want to join there for sure. But then like if I pull up my Audible, so like business wise this year, like right now we're reading Profit First. That's next month's book club. And then the next one's the color code. And then the next one's going to be medical medium. And we've done like the happiest man on earth was just the last one with Eddie Jocko, and I freaking love that one. That one, Ashley, if you want to like feel good about life, that's my go-to book that I read
What
of
is it
just like,
called?
whoa, my life is it's called The Happiest Man on Earth by Eddie Jocko. He's a Holocaust survivor. So like trigger warning
Oh,
there, but oh my gosh, I love him. I listen to him. I just think like this man can be so happy going through so much, like, and not to compare, but genuinely just to be in awe. I leave that book. I read it several times and I just like feel like the happiest person. So yes. But like, oh man, some fun ones that I've read. Emily Henry, she's a good, easy beach read for me. So Happy Place, Beach Read, meh. It wasn't my favorite, but definitely like, but Happy Place, I did love some. It was controversial. Like the
oh,
people we meet on vacation, those are just fun ones.
oh.
Emily Henry, she's a good one for me to just like check out and like fall in love again. And like those ones are just like fun romance ones. And then The Silent Patient, ooh, if you want a spicy one that like creeped me out and I definitely had nightmares, but like I'm a baby when it comes to scary things.
Me
I
too.
definitely was scared, but like it was so like that one, I don't know. I'm like, it was still good. I would just have to like hold Jason's hand a little bit while I was listening to it, just a little bit.
Kira,
um
have you read Verity by
Okay,
Colleen
Verity, I
Hoover?
started it. So here's the thing. This is Kira, like, I'm so I told Shelby because Shelby recommended it to me, and I was like, Shelby, I'm like a little sheltered of a little bit. Like, that was a bit extreme for me.
It
I
was
need a
so
little more
crazy.
toned down.
Yeah, I was
So,
like, so good.
yeah. So I've heard so many good things about it. Silent Patient is in that realm, but like I told
Oh
Shelby, I'm like,
dear.
listen, I like some like good juicy romance, but like I still need to feel like I can go to bed and look at Jason like normally. Like so that was my like line.
Yeah.
And so some of these like if I start and I'm like, oh my gosh, but like again, I'm a shy baby and like so naive, Ashley. I mean, I married a construction worker. Jason was in construction before, and he's like, Kiera, I love you so much because you are so naive. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, they
Oh,
said what? So just so you know, I have a little more reserved on that side. But that's Kiera for real. Like, this is real life Kiera. I've heard It Ends
oh,
With Us by Colleen Hoover is good, but again, I'm a little
yeah.
skeptical on that one. I'm not sure because it's like same vein of rare. And I was like, Shelby, is this like I can listen to it and I'm not going to blush the whole time on a plane, or am I going to be blushing the whole time? So Shelby's my like one to tell me if I should read it or not.
It okay, so Verity was frightening for me. And it
Okay,
was like
what's wrong?
I was scared to use the bathroom after Brian went to bed because
Oh,
just getting out of bed. No, I was just freaked out, but it was so good. It ends with us. Yes, it can be like PG-13 ish, rated R, but not rated X.
see,
So
perfect. I mean, there. Okay, that's helpful because I was like, where is this like rating guide on books? Like, this would help me a lot, especially for someone who's like blushes at like people kissing. I mean, my parents were like very non, like physical, and so I'm like, Jason, and he's like, Kira, it's like normal, but there's my that's like little. I mean, I've got
oh,
business Kira, and then this is real life Kira.
yeah.
But two other books, if you, so I also appreciate a good like challenges my beliefs kind of book. So one book is called Small Great Things by Jody. I don't know, Picklot. Small Great Things is like a very controversial race. And I love it because it forces me to think in different ways. She wrote another one called Mad Honey, which I had been recommended. That one, I still feel angry about it, not because of the subject, but I feel bothered by how she wrote it, but like
Mm.
loved that it like forced me to think so differently too. So just like there's kind of my pieces. Some people might love me or hate me off of those, but those are like some good like get out of your own way. But then if you want some like good book like work ones that I thought were fun, Unreasonable Hospitality was such a beautiful book on like how can I do like how can I and like if you don't want to have to read these books, I have all these podcasted of like quick snippets. I don't do the fiction reviews, but the work ones. So Unreasonable Hospitality was super good. Just to think of how can we like really enhance our patient experience in a fun way and like get the team excited about it. I'm obsessed with Profit First, so that one's surely on there. The EOS Life, Ashley, you might enjoy. The EOS Life is like a good business one that talks about like we figure out how to run businesses, but we don't ever figure out how to run our personal lives and to have our
Mm.
businesses work for us. So that one, I was like, I geeked on that one. I read that one really quickly. So those are like some fun ones, but those are mine. I feel like Ashley Hovis should share your book club side. And then every month we should
Oh
have like a
dear.
fun one that we read. Cause like my fun one right now that
Yes.
I'm reading, and I just started it. So if we want to like book club together, this is a fictional Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. It's totally fictional. It's in the same vein of like romance, Verity, all these ones. So if you and I want to have like a girls book club on it, and if you want a business book club, which I don't think you should do, but if you want to, Profit First is my current one, and I'm about to bust it out this weekend on like four
Profit
times the speed on
first.
Audible. So that is my secret thing. I do try to like see how fast I can get it on Audible without missing every word that they say.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. I love that it is such a great collection of books too. Okay, I wrote them all down. I've read so many books. I think I've probably read all
Ready?
the Colleen Hoover books. That It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us. Regretting You was so good. Um,
Ooh, I've heard that one.
I'm currently reading 10% Happier
I
by
love it.
Dan
It's
Harris.
such you
Yeah.
have to read it. It's so
Okay.
good. And then
Okay.
I also have some other ones in that same genre if you're looking for some in that are just
Yes, I love it.
ugh. Okay. 10% happier is
10, I
there's let's think.
10% happier. Let me grab my Audible because I don't have my Kindle next to it. I'm currently reading High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard.
Ooh,
Um,
I
so
do like
good
him.
too. Um, Oh, one of my favorite all-time audiobooks, you have to do it on Audible, is The Power of
Okay.
Vulnerability by Brene Brown.
Okay.
It feels like a therapy session. It is so good, and she unlocks so many things that we think, and but she also twists in her stories, and it's funny also at the same time. So the power of vulnerability. Um,
Excellent.
I finished Outlive by Peter Attia.
Yes.
Just
Do you love
the
it?
book on longevity. I loved it, and the last chapter, Kiera, is all about his mental health journey, and it even had
That's
Brian
awesome.
emotional. It's so good.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
what else? Creating Magic by Lee Cockrell. It is the
So
Disneyland
good.
story. So
Yes.
good. Um,
So good.
Building a Story Brand. Donald Miller.
Don Miller.
So
Mm-hmm.
good. Don Miller. He's the man. Oh
He
man.
is.
Um, The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins.
Ooh.
That was also super good. Man, I just have so many, but those I think are the ones that I will repeat because they're some of my
Okay.
favorites. But we're gonna get a
Okay.
book club, and if you want
Listening to you on your
to,
10%. Go ahead.
oh no, I want to hear 10% happier.
If you want another one in the 10% happier that's kind of fun. So I'll throw just a few more in that like same genre. There's a book called Die with Zero. It talks about how to like live and not just save for forever. Amazing. And then the happiness advantage is very similar to
Okay,
10% happier, like super, super similar. But I also really loved, because this is my efficiency side, the book Essentialism and Effortless. They're both by the same author, Greg McKeown. Essentialism and Effortless, I think, are just good tactical ones. Not as much on like the happiness side, but they are really solid in like, how do I make this happiness piece, but like cut out all the fluff in my life too. So I feel like they're a good pairing. Like learn how to be happier
okay,
and then how to like cut the fluff.
love it. Cut the fluff. Oh my
I
gosh, can
always
you
love a
believe we've
good book swap.
almost? Yes. How do you do that if it's on Audible? Can you do that?
Yeah. Like book club it.
Yeah, like I've never done anything like that before. Or can you
So
borrow a
usually
friend's
book
book
clubs
and you give them?
are, I think you could, but normally a book club's like, okay, this month let's do, or this week let's all read Essentialism. And then we're going to meet
Okay,
on Wednesday, the 23rd, and like in September, and we're all going to share our ideas of what it was. So if you want to join, if you want to do a sample book club, Dental Team actually does do, our team does a book club every month. And on Monday,
okay,
you're probably working, but at 2 o'clock Pacific, we're going to run our Profit First book club. So if you want to like come join a book club and see it, and then ever like we do ours on the fourth Monday of every month is where we book club. So, but Ashley, you and I can set up our own book club time if we want
okay.
to.
I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you want to be a part of our book club, message us. And if you want to hear Kiera, the amazing Kiera Dent, live in person, you guys, this is the plug for the retreat. This she's going to be speaking at our awesome retreat this November, November 15th to 17th. 17th is the dates, but having Kiera, not just listening to her speak on stage, but just more of this one on one. Like let's just build community. That's what it's all about. So come join us. We'd love for you to experience Kiera and all of our amazing speakers in person, and um, just get what we're really looking for. I feel in our practices, like we don't get that the ability to bounce ideas off of each other because we're solopreneurs, most of us. So it's a meeting of the minds, and it really is. It's become like a meeting of the hearts. I know that sounds so cheesy, but there's nothing that can fuel you up like this. Like it's just amazing, and I'm so happy that you're going to be a part of it. And because Kiera is amazing, and what she's building with Dental A Team is so. I mean, it's inspirational. It, we're giving away free tickets to any new
Mhm.
clients of Kira's and Dental A Team. So if you are interested in that, make sure to reach out to Kira, and then Kira will give us your name, and then we'll give you your ticket. That's going to be
Totally.
awesome.
It is going to be
Yeah.
awesome. And Ashley, your event last year was amazing. I've been to a lot, and I tell everyone, I'm like, Ashley's just so fun because it was like business and personal. And I didn't feel exhausted at the end of them. It was really a good blend. So kudos to you guys putting that on. I feel like it's one of the best events in person of just like life and business. But I think like a good quote that we could end all of this on is success without fulfillment is truly the ultimate failure. And that's from
Oh,
Tony Robbins. And I just think about that, like when you say the meeting of the hearts and it sounds cheesy, well, that's the fulfillment piece. And we can all have success and we can all have perfect P&Ls. But if we're feeling like you were at the beginning of this podcast of the overwhelm, the discouragement, I feel like that's a complete failure if we want to like really put the F failure word out there. Because if we are getting all this success and we're growing, but not fulfilled, we've failed. And I believe, and I've seen it and I've created it with hundreds of clients, that you can be successful and fulfilled and live life on your terms with ease. And it doesn't have to be hard. And so let's create that and make that a reality too. So I think that's why your guys'
I
event is
love it.
awesome because think it teaches how to be successful and fulfilled to truly live the ultimate life.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And I'm so honored to have you be a part of it. And I can't wait to have you in our new office in October. That's going to be fun. We should podcast again then. It's going to be so
We
good.
will. We should do a live one, like right after. We'll do
Let's
it
do it.
together live.
Yes.
It'll be a good time.
Yes.
Maybe that's when, Ashley, we'll read these books. Which one are we doing? 10% Happier and um I'll text you the or like
Okay.
perfect one. Like we'll do a business one and we'll do a like
Okay.
fictional and
Let's do
October
it.
when I come in person. So this gives us like a month and a half. So we'll read
Okay.
10% Happier and the
Okay.
one I'm in the middle of right now. Like I just started, so I won't be leaving you. Is Practice Makes Perfect. So we'll have it and then we'll
Okay.
book club in person together. Deal?
Let's do it. Deal. I wrote it
Okay.
down. All
It's gonna
right,
be a
my
fun time.
friend.
If you and then we'll podcast about it. You guys can all join
Yes.
Ashley and I on our book club too. But it'll be super
Yes.
fun. So Ashley, I just appreciate you. It's been a ton of fun. Guys, we have like navigated from business to strategy to personal to book clubbing. Like it has been an all-around incredible podcast. So Ashley, thank you. Thanks for being on the Dental 18 podcast. I've had a blast being on the Little Black Dress podcast. And I just appreciate you as a human and a person in my life and a friend in my corner that I know will always be real, always be raw. And I think that's your secret sauce that you should never, ever, ever, ever let go of.
Oh, right back at you, my friend. It's been such an honor and privilege getting to know you, being a part of your inner circle, and I I'm so blessed to have you in my life as a friend, as a colleague, as one of the freaking badasses in our industry. Thank you for being so awesome, always being so real, and you continue to inspire me like every day. I'm like, what would Kira do? I should make a bracelet. Like seriously, what would Kira do? And you're such a blessing. So thank you for for allowing me to join you on your podcast and for crossing over to ours and for being a part of our retreat. And I can't wait to see you in October.
Likewise, it's going to be amazing. Thrilled to be there. And as always, thanks everyone for listening. And I'll catch you next time on the Dental 18 podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental 18 podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.